So, Noah Gragson is headed to Front Row Motorsports for 2025 and beyond, according to the contract that they signed. That might actually be his first multi-year contract, I'm not sure. Well, I mean, he has only been both of his previous teams for 1 year, so I mean, I guess it's a multi-year contract unless he absolutely just shits the bed next year, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I mean, everyone's taken notice of the great runs that every individual SHR guy has had, except for Ryan Preece, unfortunately for him. I mean, we've seen Noah Gragson. I saw him have a top 10 run at Dover. That was pretty entertaining. And he's had some pretty genuine speed throughout the year. Once again, I hold on to the belief that if Stewart-Haas was just going to regroup and turn this into a rebuilding year, and, you know, last year past few years have kind of been the start of that, but with Harvick officially retired, this could have been, they could have been the next Hendrick if, they let their drivers grow, they let a program build around them, they let them, stick together with their crew and build a culture. But of course, ultimately, Tony Stewart's and Gene Haas's laziness won out in the end. But still, it's nice to see that Noah Gragson has a ride for next year, a legitimate ride that has a lot of speed this year and hasn't been finishing better just because of really bad luck and driver mistakes. I mean, Michael McDowell with that block at Talladega, his move on Ryan Blaney at New Hampshire, stuff like that, because he's, I don't know if I want to say he's desperate to get into the playoffs, but also, trying to make the best of this situation where he's going to leave the ride after a year. He wants to end on a high note, right? So, Noah Gragson is also an aggressive driver, but his, evolution from his rookie season, the wondrous rookie season at Legacy Motor Club, to where he is now with Stewart-Haas Racing, I mean, he's done a lot better. And, if you figure he keeps that momentum into Front Row Motorsports, he can help them build up to be, a replacement for Stewart-Haas, which is what Ford is kind of aiming them to be, especially with how Todd Gilliland's trajectory is, he is also having a stellar year. He's honestly kind of knocking on the door of a playoff spot. Not quite, but, he's been really hot for the past month or so. Been finishing well. He's had some pretty good speed, top 10 speed. It's nice to see Front Row Motorsports is kind of taking that upswing into being a dark horse team, and, pretty soon they'll be a contender. I guess that's part of the NASCAR, team experience. You have your down years when you start, and then you build up slowly and become a contender, and then, like Stewart-Haas, they fall off. I mean, I can't wait for in 10 years when we get the Front Row Motorsports is closing down a Ford charter team or whatever. But yeah. So, Noah Gragson is, who knows what number they're going to do next year, honestly. Who knows what's going to happen with the numbers, but we know Noah Gragson will be there next year. I mean, all of Front Row Motorsports, or well, him and Todd Gilliland, that's 2 playoff spots, 2 dark horse playoff spots. And yeah, I mean, not really much else to say. Still kind of sucks that Ryan Preece is doesn't have a ride next year. Of course, all his SHR buddies did, although you could put buddies in parenthesis, if you think about the data sharing incident. But that's just how NASCAR is sometimes. Sometimes you're just not cut for the top flight of the sport. So, with that being said, got Noah Gragson going to Front Row Motorsports in 2025. After, how long was this rumored, man? Thank goodness he isn't going to RCR. Oh my gosh, I wouldn't wish it on anyone. Someone save Kyle Busch, please.